Dear students, in this module we will talk about the pre-Malthusian theories of population. Specifically, we will discuss about the pre-Malthusian period, industrial revolution in the 18th and 19th century, and as a result of this we will get comprehensive knowledge about the theories, and also this also helps us in understanding the Malthusian theories. Let us now look at the pre-Malthusian period. We are talking about 14th century to 17th century when we say about the pre-Malthusian period. During the pre-Malthusian period, that is 14th to 17th century, Europe was experiencing several significant changes across various fields, and these changes include the changes in the field of art and literature. During this time, the sea route to India was explored and America was discovered. There was also invention of gunpowder and printing. There was increase in trade and manufacturing. As a result of these changes, the old feudal system was getting replaced by capitalism. One has to keep these changes in mind to understand the population theories that evolved over a period of time. This period was also notable for the emergence of more powerful states, and these powerful states include England, France, Spain and Portugal. With the kind of changes we have seen just a few minutes back, England, France, Spain and Portugal emerged as more powerful states. In view of these changes, it is quite natural for one to expect that there would be some implications in terms of thinking about the autonomy and population. Now let us briefly describe these changes. Let us talk about three inventions, namely printing press, firearms and the nautical compass. These three inventions are very important because these three inventions allowed the people to communicate, to exercise power and travel long distances. Because the printing press was there, it improved the communication channels, it improved the communication systems, so people were able to communicate with each other. Because of the innovation and the invention related to firearms, the nations or the countries were able to exercise power, the military power, using the firearms. And because of the availability of natural compass, people were able to travel long distances. And another important invention was crank and connecting rod device known as crankshaft. This device made the work easier because of mechanization. by transferring circular motion into reciprocal motion. This is an important invention. Secondly, the printing press. It was invented by German goldsmith Johannes Gutenberg, who lived during 1398 and 1468. The invention of printing press was considered as the single most important event in the history. The printing revolution was considered as an agent of change in transformation of the medieval society. Thirdly, hook gun was a favorable weapon in the 14th century. The hook gun was improved and replaced by more effective gun called caliber. The invention of astrolabe can be considered as another development which made the sea voyage easier. Astrolabe is an instrument for measuring angles of slope or tilt, elevation or depression used by the astronomers. Finally, shipbuilding as well as ship repair was made easy by a dry dock facility. Dry dock was a narrow basin or vessel that would be flooded, allowing the ship to be floated in and then drained out water to allow that ship to rest on a dry platform. Dry docks were used for the construction, maintenance and repair of ships, boats and other watercraft. During the 17th century, the development of newspaper printing was a major agent in dissemination of political and social events to all the citizens across the society. Thus, knowledge dissemination took place with the help of the invention of newspaper printing. As a result of that, people were able to get information about various developments and various events happening in the society. Now let us talk about the industrial revolution in the 18th century and 19th century. The industrial revolution in 18th and 19th century is noteworthy. It is very significant because the industrial revolution brought new manufacturing processes and changed the agriculture economy into industrial economy. Thus, there is a shift from agro-based economy to industry-based economy. In 1750, the European economy was dominated by agriculture. The farmers paid rent for land in agriculture produce that they produced. Most of the non-agricultural goods were produced under cottage industry by individual families that specialized in a particular skill, like manufacturing wagon wheels and the similar kind of activities. Capitalists were focusing on marketing non-agriculture goods rather than producing them. With the advent of industrial revolution, the European economy slowly became a global economy. European trade and manufacture stretched to every continent except the Antarctica. There was a substantial increase in population in Europe because of industrial revolution. It is hard to guess whether the industrial revolution was a cause for the growth of population or population growth was the cause for the industrial revolution. This is an important and interesting question, whether industrial revolution was the cause of population growth or whether population growth was responsible for the industrial revolution. It is an interesting question, and one can have his or her own guess estimates in response to this question. But it is clear that the transition to an industrial manufacturing economy required more labor. The need for more working people, the need for more working hands was felt as a result of industrialization. There was huge demand for the labor to work in the industries. The national economy was centrally depending on the family economy, because the agriculture as well as non-agriculture activities were based on family economy. Most of the activities were family based activities. In any manufacturing economy, a person is expected to produce more than the quantity that is needed. Thus, the surplus production would give way to the profits to the manufacturer. It is very simple to understand. In a manufacturing economy, a person who is producing is expected and encouraged to produce more. When the production exceeds and when the production becomes surplus, it would generate profits, and these profits would go to the manufacturer. Thus, this kind of surplus economy had the dual benefit. It encouraged the population growth, and it also made the population growth desirable. That means the manufacturer was able to get profits as a result of surplus production. The thinking was that if more people are there in the industry involved in production, the surplus production would get multiplied and lead to higher profits. Let us take an example. If X number of people are working in an industry, if they are producing Y quantity of the produce, it is leading to a profit of Z. If X is multiplied by 2, that means the number of people working in the industry gets multiplied by 2, it becomes double. 2x people are involved in production, then the production also gets multiplied by certain factor. Increased production would also lead to higher surplus, much higher surplus, and ultimately it would lead to much higher profits. As a result of this kind of thinking, the surplus economy was in favor of higher population growth. As a matter of fact, higher population growth was desired in such kind of surplus economy situation. Let us now look at the mercantilist school. Some scholars went up to the extent of debating that the beginning of mercantilism to 1550, and it continued up to the mid 18th century. In the history of economic thought, this is considered to be a link between the medieval period and the modern period. During this period, many trading nations followed the economic policy aimed at increasing the national wealth and power, and this was done through encouraging exports of manufactured goods in exchange of gold. And another strategy was to keep down the production cost of goods, and it led to exploitation of the laborers. In this system, population was considered as an important asset, because population or population growth is directly related to the labor supply. More people you have, more labor supply is ensured. For labor needs, there is a desire to increase the population in all the trading countries. Thus, in all the countries that are involved in trading, there was a strong demand and strong desire for increasing the population. According to the mercantilist theory, the nation's wealth depended on the possession of precious metals such as gold and silver. If a country did not possess gold or silver mines, it should earn such wealth by striking favorable balance of trade between exporting more goods and importing fewer goods in gold or silver value. The process of more exports than imports would add gold and silver to the national wealth. Such a balance of trade required mechanization of production of goods and industrialization, and less dependence on agriculture. In such a situation, population has to supply workforce, and thus a large population size is considered to be essential. Thus, the need for large population was felt to get the maximum benefit out of the situation. We have to remember that here again the number of workers rather than their quality or skills was the main consideration. The quantity was given more importance than the quality or the skill or the capability of the workers. Sometimes even children above the age 6 were recruited in a country like France. So, the involvement of children at a tender age of 6 years was practiced in France, because the emphasis was to have more number of workers rather than getting concerned or getting worried about the quality of the manpower, the skill set of the laborers. The high fertility and large number of births were favored, and for this several measures were adopted. These measures include discouraging the celibacy, encouraging marriages and fertility, some kind of disincentives were also practiced, such as making punishments less severe for having illegitimate births, encouraging immigration and preventing immigration. So, before the Malthusian theory of population was published, if we look at the period of 14th to 17th century, Europe was experiencing several important changes across major fields, and these changes led to the replacement of the feudal system by capitalism. There was also a change in the thinking about the population size and growth, and the new thinking on population size and growth and the economic policies was in favor of larger population size. We also have seen that the invention of crankshaft device enabled the work much easier, and the printing revolution, as we have seen, was considered to be a major change in disseminating information about the political and social events and developments. We also have seen the invention in terms of the guns. The hook gun improved and it was replaced by more effective gun. We also have seen the role of invention of astrolabe, which made the sea voyage much easier, and we looked into the role played by another invention relating to shipbuilding and repair by building dry docks. As a result of these inventions, many of the trading nations started following the economic policy of mercantilism, and the purpose was to increase the national wealth as well as the national power, and the strategies adopted, as we have seen, were encouraging the export of manufactured goods in exchange of gold and silver, because the idea was to get more gold and silver that would enhance the wealth of the nation. However, this was possible, as we have seen, only by exporting more goods and importing less number of goods in gold or silver value. In such kind of a situation, the population growth was felt necessary so that the workforce is supplied, and it was also felt that large population is essential to have more labor working in the factories and industries. We also have seen the relationship between increased manpower, increased workforce, and increase in the production, leading to surplus production, and increase in the profits made by the manufacturer. And as a result of that, the manufacturers were encouraging more and more people to work in the industries, irrespective of their age and the skill they possess. All these factors led to emphasis given to higher population growth and larger population size that would ensure larger workforce in the factories and surplus production and higher profits to the manufacturer. So, the whole surplus economy situation was in favor of larger population size and higher population growth. So, this module has helped us to get an understanding about the changes that happened in terms of the innovations and inventions and the kind of role these inventions played in changing the economy from agrarian based to industrial based, and further leading to changes in the thinking about the population size and population growth. So, this module has given us comprehensive understanding about the changes that took place particularly in the European countries and the kind of changes in the thinking about population size and population growth. Thank you so much.